Alright, what's up everybody? Here we are. I guess we're live. I've never done this before, so this is a new one for me. Here, let's type something in. I really don't know if I'm live or not. This is weird. I guess so. It says we're live. Alright. What's up everybody? I don't even know if I have any viewers in here right now. Yeah, I don't have any. That's not really that surprising, but this isn't just for now. Oh, crap. I didn't mean to do that. Let's undo that. Okay. Whatever. So, we're going to talk about the NBA slate today. Yesterday, I did not... this morning, I was filming out the video, and my laptop just decided to basically die. So, I don't really know why that happened, but it did. And, I just was like, screw it. I'm going to go. I've been wanting to do a live stream, so live before lock, so I said I'm just going to do a live video today before lock, and that's what we're here doing today. I'm going to try, I think I'm going to try, depending on how this goes, we're going to see if I'm going to start doing this every single day. If not, at least going to try, during the week and stuff, but that's the goal. So, yeah, here we are. We're going to talk about injuries first, of course. If you have any questions, you can always put them down in the comment or in the chat. Hopefully you can say something in the chat. Again, this is the first time I've ever done this, so if you have any questions, I will answer them for you. But yeah, all right, let's go. We're going to start out with injuries for today because it is, 5 o'clock. Lock is at 7. We have 2 hours, and there's a bunch of injuries, a bunch of questionable players that really determine a lot on this slate. And the first big thing that I really want to talk about is how Portland and Memphis got canceled. Like, come on, man. That was our value. That was our value for today. Xavier Tillman was the best play today by far, and I love Damian Lillard, and now we just don't have them. So we got to find more value, and honestly, there's not a lot of good cheap value anymore, and we're really hoping for something to open up here. So the injuries that we're going to start out with are Colin Sexton and Darius Garland for Cleveland Cavaliers. They're both questionable today. If they're going to both be ruled out, that is going to... Damian Dotson will start at point guard for him, and I expect Isaac Okoro and Cedi Osman as well pick up some more minutes and usage. Those are going to be two of the more higher usage players without Colin Sexton and Darius Garland. That's what's really going to affect. But now, the one thing I will say is if Colin Sexton and Garland are ruled in, I really like them today because they're playing Brooklyn, and Brooklyn cannot guard anybody, and they're going to be ruled in really late before lock. But this is the first game this is the game at lock, so we will know. And those are going to be players that we have that we just like to get into some lineups. So those are going to be players that grade out very, very well. And they're going to be players that I want to get a lot of. So in a great matchup, it's going to be really good. All right, hold on. I want to see this. I got a comment on this video. I want to make sure that it's just... Oh, that wasn't even a comment. Thanks, stupid emails. All right, I'm just trying to make sure this is still working 100%. I got to stop thinking about that. Anyway, so yeah, I think Sexton and Garland will be really good plays because this is a really good matchup. They're not really good defensively, and there's going to be a lot of scoring. Hopefully they can keep it somewhat close. There's a little bit worried of blowout risk, but for the most part, I'm not really ever trying to figure out blowout risk. So, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, Dwight Powell, all still out for Dallas. Just going to be more usage for Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr., and Jalen Brunson probably gets to start again, and that's probably one of the good values I do like going to. We'll talk about him in a little bit. With Kleber and Powell out, though, Millie Cauley-Stein will probably start again, and James Johnson will get a lot of minutes off the bench. Miles Turner is questionable for today's game, which means Domantas Sabonis is more than likely going to start at center. When he starts at center, that means he's going to get more rebounds, a little bit more usage down there for him. Not a ton more rebounds because Sabonis was kind of just getting all the rebounds anyway. Like, honestly, Miles Turner being out doesn't affect him that much. Jakar Sampson's also questionable. If he misses, then I expect Doug McDermott to start. McDermott might start anyway, but in the past when Turner's been out or Sabonis has been out, it's been Jakar Sampson getting the start. So I do more expect him to start if he's available to play. So be sure to look out for the Pacers starting lineup. Jason Tatum is out for the Boston Celtics today. That is going to be more usage for Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, and Semi Ojeleye probably get some more minutes, maybe Grant Williams as well. Cam Reddish is questionable, and then, the great value today, Kevin Huerter, is going to probably start if Cam Reddish does not play, as will DeAndre Hunter get some more usage, and Trae Young will get some more usage. Jimmy Butler has been ruled out for the Miami Heat, as is Avery Bradley, and Tyler Hero is questionable. With Butler out, if Hero plays and Butler's out, I think that Hero looks like a pretty solid option at $7,000. Bam Adebayo and Goran Dragic will get some more usage without Jimmy Butler on the floor. And if Tyler Hero misses as well, I expect Kendrick Nunn to pick up a lot of minutes. I already expect Kendrick Nunn to be in the rotation tonight because of Avery Bradley being ruled out. But if Tyler Hero is out as well, Kendrick Nunn's going to be a great value and some cheap value that we kind of need on a slate. So Tyler Hero 1 is kind of big for today. Let's see if we got any news yet. No news as of now. Karl Anthony Towns, Ricky Rubio, and Juan Hernan Gomez are out for the Minnesota Timberwolves. So Naz Reid usually starts, but I will say that in some spots they do start Ed Davis instead of Karl Anthony Towns, or instead of Naz Reid when Karl Anthony Towns is out, because they like to put a big center up against a big center, and they're playing against the Magic tonight, and Vooch is one of the biggest centers in the NBA. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Ed Davis start, and if Ed Davis starts, I don't really want any business with him, and I definitely don't want any business with Naz Reid today at all. With Ricky Rubio out, we saw Anthony Edwards get a lot more minutes last game. He ended up getting to 30 minutes, and I would expect something kind of similar today to that. So, if Anthony Edwards is getting 30 minutes, he's like $4,500. We'll talk about him more. He's definitely someone I do like. And then Juan Hernan Gomez being out, I'd assume that Jared Vanderbilt probably gets to start again in his place. If that is the case, then then Jared Vanderbilt is pretty good point per dollar play at 4,900. So we'll talk about him a little bit more too. John Wall has been ruled out for the Houston Rockets, and this laptop sucks. Okay. All right. Yeah, John Wall has been ruled out for the Houston Rockets. We're just going to hit this. And with that, Eric Gordon and Victor Oladipo should pick up some more usage for sure. And those are going to be two players that I definitely liked as well. Sterling Brown's been questionable, but actually, since I've typed this up, he has been ruled in. So Sterling Brown is available now to play, so this one's not really worried about at all. Andrew Wiggins is questionable. If he were to miss, I'd expect Kelly Oubre and Steph Curry to pick up some more usage, and then Kent Bazemore probably starts. It could be Jordan Poole, but I'd expect it to be Kent Bazemore just based on the playing time that he's gotten this year. So, yeah, I would look for Kent Bazemore as a pretty good value at that point. Then we're going to ignore those guys because that game got canceled. That's frustrating. And then Steph Curry has been ruled out. Surprisingly, he was supposed to play today, but he got ruled out I was kind of shocked. I guess probably because he hadn't played in like 2 weeks and they wanted to get warmed back up. Because he's out, Tyrese Maxey probably starts against Shake Milton and also gets a lot more minutes, as does Matisse Thybulle. That's really all the injuries. Let's go talk about the players now, where we are going to start with James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan. Those are your Brooklyn Nets. That's the first game we're going to talk about, the first game of the day. Brooklyn Nets, Cleveland Cavaliers. This game currently has a total of 225.5, with the Brooklyn Nets having an implied team total of 117.7, and the Cavs having a total of 107.5. So this is definitely going to be a game to attack on the Brooklyn Nets side because they're projected to score a lot of points. This game does have some blowout risk, but for the most part, I really don't ever think too much about blowout risk when I'm playing DFS, especially this year when just half the game's blowout. So you just kind of have to figure that's going to happen a bunch. This could be a game that blows out for sure. That's just going to happen sometimes. So James Harden is 10,900, Kevin Durant is 10,500, and Kyrie Irving is 9,000. These guys are really big time players. I mean, this is the new big three. Are they going to win the championship? I mean, Durant and Harden together have looked really good so far. We'll see if Irving can mesh with them. I'd assume that it's going to take some usage away from each other, but it may not. It could end up being where these three have like almost all the usage on the team, and then no one else is getting anything. I wouldn't be that surprised if that's the case. So I'm not really scared playing these guys today. Kyrie Irving definitely would be my favorite one, though, because he is the cheapest. He's $1,500 less than Durant, $1,900 less than Harden, so that's going to be pretty good for me. During the season, he's had a usage rate of 30.6 and an assist rate of 32%. I'd expect that to come down a little bit, but still at 9,000, that's good. And Cleveland is not like a good defensive team at all, so I'm not really too worried about that. Kevin Durant, James Harden, I mean, they're fine plays. If you want to pay up for them, I don't have a problem with that at all. I wouldn't say they're like locks or anything, but I do think that they are some pretty fine options. So Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan are going to be, looks like some decent value plays, especially Jeff Green. In the 2 games since this big trade has happened, Green's played 30 and 38 minutes. I gave him 30 today. He hasn't really had a lot of usage, 10.2 usage percentage, 5.8 assist percentage. It's really not great, but at $4,300, I want to pay for those minutes in a pretty good match against Cleveland's front court. Yeah, Cleveland's front court's big, but they're not good defensively. So Jeff Green, I don't have a problem with getting to. And then DeAndre Jordan. So DeAndre Jordan, the first game since this trade, when there's no Jared Allen anymore, we saw DeAndre Jordan get 23 minutes. Then last game, we saw DeAndre Jordan get 38 minutes. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. I mean, if DeAndre Jordan's going to get the minutes, which he probably will tonight because they're playing against Cleveland, and Andre Drummond and Jared Allen are big centers, and JaVale McGee. It's a very big team over here in Cleveland, so DeAndre Jordan's going to be a little bit more needed. I think he's going to get to at least 30 minutes, and at $5,500, he's going to absolutely smash. He's got a rebound rate of 19.1, which is one of the highest in the league, especially on the slate. I mean, it's not Andre Drummond, but it's up there. And it's not like Andre Drummond is a good defender or anything, so I'm not really too worried about that either. But DeAndre Jordan really isn't like a good offensive player. He kind of just catches lobs. He's really not doing anything for you out there. So yeah, I think DeAndre Jordan looks really good at 5,500. He's definitely someone I do want to attack today. And then on the Cleveland side, we have guys I'm interested in are going to be Damian Dotson, Andre Drummond, Larry Nance, Isaac Okoro, and Chetty Osman. So Brooklyn is just, hopefully they can keep this game kind of close, because Brooklyn is a team that has given up a ton of fantasy points this year. They're not good defensively at all, and they're not going to be. They just want to score, and they want to score, and they want to score. That's what they're going to be all year, but that's fine. I like going to teams like that for playing against them in DFS. It's like the Warriors a few years ago. I mean, Warriors were good defensively, but they played so fast that it gave up a ton of points. So Damian Dotson at $5,200. This is all assuming, first of all, that Colin Sexton and Darius Garland are out. I already talked about them. If those guys are in, I'm not really going to be interested in Chetty Osman, Isaac Okoro, or Damian Dotson at all. Drummond and Nance will still be fine with, but those other two, those other three, I'm not going to be interested in. So assuming that all those guys are out, Damian Dotson's $5,200. I gave him 29 minutes today. He only has a usage rate of 16.8, but that goes up to about 20% when Garland and Sexton are not available. So that is something to note worthing. At $5,200, I mean, he's pretty solid value. I wouldn't call him like a lock or anything, but if I'm playing a lot of tournament lineups today, I think he's a good play. Andre Drummond is another one that's kind of scary because Jared Allen and Taurean Prince both are set to make their debuts tonight, and I don't know how much that's going to eat into Andre Drummond's minutes. I would hope not, because Andre Drummond, I mean, Jared Allen's good, but at this point, Andre Drummond's still a better player. But yeah, it's a little scary thinking that he could somewhat eat into some of Jared Allen's playing time, or into some of Andre Drummond's playing time. But if he doesn't, Andre Drummond's in a great spot against DeAndre Jordan, who's not good anymore. $9,900 for him. I gave him 36 minutes. He's got a usage rate of 31.2 and a rebound rate of 26.6. He's even got a good assist rate, 16.7, and 9,900 feels too cheap for him if he's going to get that amount of minutes. Only a tournament play for sure, because I'm a little bit worried about Jared Allen eating into his playing time, but still, for the most part, not going to be too nervous about that. Larry Nance at power forward, he's $6,400. I gave him 37 minutes today. He has a usage rate of 13.2, an assist rate of 15.8, and a rebound rate of 19.3. He looks like a fine option. I wouldn't call him like a lock or anything, but at $6,400, he looks pretty decent. Isaac Okoro is $4,400. Now look, Isaac Okoro, he's not been a good fantasy player at all. Has a usage rate this year of 12.7, an assist rate of 8.8, and a rebound rate of 3.2. None of those are good, but he's going to play a ton of minutes against a really bad defensive team. Like, I gave him 36 tonight. They are just playing him a ton. He's their rookie. I mean, Cleveland, they're trying to be competitive, but they're not, they're going to be maybe a borderline playoff team. So we'll see about that. But for the most part, Isaac Okoro is going to get run out there just because they're trying to get him usage and trying to get him into the game, want him to become used to the NBA. So he's $4,400. I have him playing for a lot of minutes. He's a little bit risky. Definitely, again, only going to be a tournament play because I think his floor is like 5 points, man. It's not good. But he has a nice ceiling. He can get up to 20 or 30. So Isaac Okoro definitely has some appeal. And then Chetty Osman at $6,500. If these guys are out, he's just going to get a nice usage rate of about 27%. Those are going to be the things. Okay, let's see, news. That's for Thursday. See, Fantasy Labs always gives out news for Thursday on Wednesday and stuff. I don't like that. Anyway, Chetty Osman, $6,500. Gave him 35 minutes. Usage rate 22. That'll probably be about 26 today if those guys are out. I think he's a solid option. He's been priced up for it now because he's been playing. So I wouldn't call him like a lock player or anything, but he does seem fine. Malcolm Brogdon. So now we're going to go to the Indiana Pacers playing the Dallas Mavericks. This game has an implied total of 219.5. It's going to be a pretty okay pace game. Pace only going to be at 103.6. Not really too fast of a pace game, but it's not terrible either. Malcolm Brogdon, Justin Holiday, Doug McDermott, and Domantas Sabonis are going to be the guys I'm interested in on Indiana. And then Jalen Brunson, Luka Doncic, James Johnson are going to be the guys I'm interested in on the Dallas Mavericks. So Malcolm Brogdon's $8,300. I gave him 39 minutes today. This series had a usage rate of 24.6 and an assist rate of 30.9. But Victor Oladipo is gone. Like, everyone's, talking about Miles Turner's out. Miles Turner's out. Yeah, Miles Turner is out. But Victor Oladipo is also, like, not here. Like, he's gone. He's in Houston now. And without Victor Oladipo on the floor this year, Malcolm Brogdon's had a usage rate of 30% and an assist rate of 35%. And at $8,300, all of that is just way, way, way too cheap in my opinion. I think he's just way too cheap, $8,300. If he's gonna have those rates, I want to pay for him. And I don't hate paying for him against Dallas. Dallas isn't like great defensively or anything, so he looks really good. Justin Holiday is $4,900. He's been getting more minutes as well. Victor Oladipo out. I gave him 36 today. He's a three-point shooter. Like, if you want to take a chance on just going on a big Justin Holiday game, go for it. But I wouldn't count on it that much. I think he's fine. Doug McDermott, if he gets to start. So if Miles Turner is out, and Doug McDermott gets to start, I definitely like that a lot. I think he grades out as a pretty solid option here. He played 30. I gave him 36 minutes. He played like 41 last game. I only gave him 36 today. He has a usage rate of 19.1 and a rebound rate of 7.8. I wouldn't expect like an explosion game like we saw from him last time, but for the most part, I do think he's still going to get out there and play a ton of minutes, get some shots up, and I don't hate that. But if Doug McDermott doesn't end up starting, don't play him. So be sure you're paying attention to Indiana Pacers news, Indiana Pacers starting lineup, because that is big for today. Domantas Sabonis, $9,800. I always love playing Sabonis, man. This guy is like got to be one of the most underrated basketball players in the entire NBA. He was an all-star last year, but like no one ever talks about him. He's just a stud. But anyway, he's $9,800. Gave him 39 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 24.5, an assist rate of 23.3, and a rebound rate of 19.1. All of those are going to go up about a percent and a half without Miles Turner on the floor. It's not as big of a difference as you would think, but it is still a difference. So Domantas Sabonis does grade out pretty well at $9,800. I don't have a problem with him. I don't think he's like a great play because he is expensive now. And he deserves to be expensive. Like, don't get me wrong, like he should be expensive, but I don't think he's like a lock or anything. So yeah, I think he's a pretty solid option to go to. And on the Dallas side, Jalen Brunson's going to be someone I'd like to go to for value. He's $4,300 on Draftkings. He got the start last game. Was that last night or was that 2 nights ago? I don't know. In the last game, Jalen Brunson got the start. He played 29 minutes. He has a usage rate of 24.7 and an assist rate of 27.9 this year. So Jalen Brunson does seem to be a pretty solid option for me because we do need some cheap value with Xavier Tillman gone, which that just sucks at this point because that was like the best value on the entire slate, and now he's gone. So Jalen Brunson is going to be someone that looks pretty good to me. Luka Doncic is $10,700. Today he's expensive, but he's Luka. Like, this is probably going to be a competitive game, and Luka Doncic in competitive games, give me all that. I don't really care. Like, it's Luka Doncic. I'm cool with it. If you want to play him, play him. James Johnson, he's $4,500. I gave him 27 minutes. He's going to come off the bench more than likely. Maybe he gets to start against a smaller Indiana team, and maybe he'll just start Porzingis at center, but I doubt it. But he's going to play a lot of minutes because this is going to be a team that's going to be playing smaller tonight because there is no Miles Turner, so I could see James Johnson getting a lot of minutes. So that is definitely something that I want to get to. He has a usage rate of 17.6, an assist rate of 15.3, and a rebound rate of 8.8. He's a fine play. We just need some more cheaper options because, again, no Xavier Tillman, so that's someone I want to go to for cheaper. Boston Celtics, Philadelphia 76ers. That's going to be the next game I'm going to talk about. This game has an implied total of 221.5. It's Philadelphia, man. When they're healthy, which they're healthy today, they are very good defensively. Steph Curry's not there, but he's not one of the elite defenders on his team. When Embiid, Ben Simmons are there, this team is great. And I don't think Boston's going to have even a shot tonight without Jason Tatum, without 100% Kemba Walker. And I'm just not interested on many players from Boston because, outside Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart, all these guys' minutes are scattered. They're just scattered everywhere. And I just don't really want to. I feel that kind of makes all those guys unplayable to me. Unless you're playing really, really deep tournament lineups. But for the most part, I still just don't think I want to get there. Marcus Smart seemed a little bit too expensive too, so I didn't really want to go there. But Jaylen Brown at $8,700 without Tatum on the floor has a usage rate of about 32%, and he does get a bump in an assist rate too. So that's going to be someone I definitely want to target at $8,700. I don't think he's like a lock or anything, but he does project out as a pretty solid play for me tonight. Then we got Joel Embiid on Philly. Boston for the past few years has been horrible against guarding the bigs. Now they did get Tristan Thompson this year, so that helps out a little bit. But still, who's guarding Embiid in Boston tonight? Like, it's just He's too cheap. $9,600 for Joel Embiid is way too cheap. I gave him 37 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of almost 30%, and assist rate of 15.4, and a rebound rate of 19.3. Looks like an absolute great play to me tonight. I want a ton of Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris has just been playing the minutes, man. I mean, this guy just plays so many minutes, and when you have someone like that, when you have someone playing that many minutes at $7,200, I'm fine with it. I gave him 39 tonight. That feels like a lot, but I mean, that's kind of what he just plays like every single day and every single game. So Tobias Harris doesn't even feel like a reach anymore. He's not going to grade out amazingly. Usage rate 23.4, assist rate of 14, rebound rate of 11.5, but he has a high ceiling because of all the minutes he plays. So if I'm playing a lot of tournament lineups, that is always someone that I do want to get into some lineups, is Tobias Harris. Tyrese Maxey's $4,500. I gave him 25 minutes today because he is going to more than likely be starting for Seth Curry. It could be Shake Milton. One of them's going to start, but they're both going to play in the upper more minutes. Shake's just a little bit more expensive. So Tyrese Maxey is going to be another guy we could go to for value. Now we're going to move on to the Atlanta Hawks and Detroit Pistons. This game has an implied total of 220.5, and it's going to be a nice pace game at 104.25. Atlanta plays at a pretty fast pace. Detroit is a little bit of a slower pace, so this is probably going to be honestly a better spot for the Pistons than it is for the Hawks because they are going to have a pace up spot versus a pace down spot. So Clint Capella is going to be one guy that I'm definitely interested in for the Atlanta Hawks. He's $7,600. Oh, wait, you know what? Before we do any of this, why is Kevin Huerter $9,500? I mean, clearly DraftKings made a mistake by pricing him at $9,500. I mean, that's just kind of ridiculous in my opinion. He should not be that. I mean, everyone knows that. He shouldn't be that expensive. It's clearly a typo or something. I mean, he should be in the 5Ks. $9,500. Yeah, don't play Kevin Huerter, even if you're going for a contrarian. Don't do that. That's not the contrarian play to do. Anyway, all right, Clint Capella, he's $7,600. I gave him 39 minutes. He's got a ridiculous rebound rate of 23.3, and his usage rate isn't even terrible at 18.3. He's just too cheap. He plays a lot of minutes. He's a high point per minute guy. Detroit isn't really like a great defensive team at all, so I don't hate going there. John Collins is $6,900. I gave him 36 minutes. He's got a usage rate of 19.8 and a rebound rate of 12.8. That is going to be, wow, Jeremy Lamb is going to play tonight? Well, so all your, that's surprising. So Jeremy Lamb is going to play tonight for the Indiana Pacers. I didn't expect that one. I mean, he's not going to get a ton of minutes. He's going to get like 15 minutes, but that does bring down Justin Holiday a good bit. I wouldn't want to play him because I think that two-guard spot is going to be all muddy. That could bring down Doug McDermott too. Be sure still to look for that starting lineup. I think if McDermott starts, he's still fine, but I probably wouldn't get any of the Holiday brothers on Indiana. I think Brogdon and Sabonis are still fine, but that's who that affects the most. And TJ McConnell, if you wanted to play TJ McConnell, I don't know why you would have, but he's probably going to lose minutes for that as well. Anyway, on to DeAndre Hunter. If Cam Reddish is out, I think DeAndre Hunter's a good play. He's going to get a nice usage bump to about like 22%. That's what he has when Cam Reddish is not on the floor, and 6,200 against the Pistons. I do like that a lot. On the other side of the ball, we have Blake Griffin, Mason Plumlee. Those are going to be the two guys I'm interested in from Detroit. Blake Griffin's $6,100. I gave him 36 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 19, an assist rate of 20.2, and a rebound rate of 10.1. Like, look, Blake Griffin, man, he does not look good anymore. He is falling off a cliff. But he still looks like a pretty viable DFS option to me at $6,100. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's got a high usage percentage, and he's got he's got a high point per minute. $6,100. That's fine for me. I don't think he's like my favorite player or anything, but he does grade out pretty solidly today. I do like Mason Plumlee though. He's getting more minutes. Like they've kind of just benched Joel Okafor. Like Joel Okafor the last few games has not played at all. So Mason Plumlee's getting all the minutes. I gave him 32 today. He's got an assist rate 19.1 and a rebound rate of 17.6. Those are both very good for his price tag at $5,200 and against Atlanta. I'm cool with that. I like that a lot. I'm definitely okay with going to Mason Plumlee today. Fred VanVleet, Norman Powell, Chris Boucher, Kyle Lowry are going to be the guys in Toronto. We have this Toronto Raptors Miami Heat game. Has a total of 222. We already talked about some of the injuries for that. So we have Fred VanVleet, Powell, and Boucher are going to be the guys I'm interested in for Toronto. So I gave Fred VanVleet 36 minutes today. Him and Lowry, man, like they have like very similar rates. 23.1 usage, 22.2 usage. Then I have 28.1 assist rate, 30.1 assist rate, and you have close rebound rates. They're just like $100 off. And every night, it's one or the other. It's just one or the other is going to go off. I don't really have a gauge on which one's going off tonight, so play them at your own risk. They're both one of them's going to do good tonight. I can tell you that much, but I can't really pin in on which one it's going to be. Chris Boucher, Norman Powell. So Norman Powell's $4,700. This is just another cheaper guy that I think is worth a shot. I gave him 28 minutes today. He plays a lot of minutes coming off the bench. He's got a usage rate of 22. He does a lot for his team when he is on the floor. So he looks like a pretty solid play there. Chris Boucher at $7,300. Gave 31 minutes. Look, Chris Boucher, man, he has been balling out this year. He's going to win Most Improved Player. Like, I don't even think it's close at this point. He has just been playing out of his mind, and I mean, I'm gonna keep going back to him as long as I keep playing him. I don't know why he doesn't start. They start Aaron Baines, he plays like 8 minutes, and then that's it. Chris Boucher always plays like 30-plus minutes, and he just comes off the bench. I don't get it at all. Maybe they're going for 6th man of the year and Most Improved. That'd be something. But, I mean, he's got one of the highest point per minutes in the entire league. He's going to get 30-plus minutes. He's got a high usage, high rebound percentage. I'm going to keep going to him until he starts sucking, man. I mean, because this guy's just literally been balling out. Now we're going to go to the Miami Heat players, where I'm interested in Duncan Robinson, Goran Dragic, Bam Adebayo, and Kendrick Nunn. So Duncan Robinson's $5,800. Gave him 36 minutes. He plays a ton out there. We know what Duncan Robinson brings to the table. He's a three-point shooter. If he's knocking down threes, he's going to be good. Only going to be a tournament play for me. Will not touch him in cash games. Usually don't want to touch Duncan Robinson in cash games. Every once in a while, maybe, but for the most part, I do not. Goran Dragic is going to be someone I am interested in, though, without Jimmy Butler on the floor. Goran Dragic gets a usage rate of 30%. That's pretty high for someone at $5,700 is going to play a lot of minutes. I don't know if he's going to start. If Tyler Hero plays, Goran Dragic probably doesn't start, but he's still going to play a lot of minutes. Now, if Tyler Hero's out, Goran Dragic is the best play in this game, in my opinion, because he's going to play a ton of minutes, he's going to play stars minutes, and he's going to have a high usage rate at $5,700. So, Goran Dragic looks really good at that point. Bam Adebayo is $8,600. I gave him 35 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 24.2, an assist rate of 27.2, and a rebound rate of 16.4. That looks really good for me as well. Someone like that just grades out pretty well, especially with the usage bump without Jimmy Butler on the floor. And then Kendrick Nunn's going to be in play if Hero's out. If Hero's out, I like Kendrick Nunn a lot. He's going to play a lot of minutes at $4,000. He's got a usage rate of 22.1, an assist rate of 16.7, and a rebound rate of 7. All right, we got some news here, I think, about Cleveland. So, Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, game time decisions. So, pay attention to that one. We're not going to know that one until right about lock. Fortunately, that is the first game at lock, so I'm okay with that. But just pay attention to that because that's going to be big. I think Garland and Sexton are going to be good plays if they're in, especially if like one or the other's in. Like if only Garland's in, Sexton's a great play. If only Sexton's in, Garland's a great play. So be just paying attention to that. We'll see what happens. If they both play, I mean, they're solid, but probably not great plays, but they aren't going to be owned, so that's for sure. Now we'll move on to the Orlando Magic versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. This game has an implied total of 219. The Minnesota Timberwolves might be the worst defensive team in the league. They're terrible, man. This team is bad. I don't know. I mean, I guess Towns hasn't played, but D'Angelo Russell is not good. Everyone else around Minnesota is just not good. Like they can't guard anybody, and that's gonna make me love Nikola Vucevic. Nikola Vucevic is probably my favorite pay-up play today. I love Nikola Vucevic today. Who's guarding him on that team? Naz Reid, Ed Davis? Yeah, okay. None of them are going to be able to handle him. He's popular today. I don't have a problem with it. From my ownership projections, he's the second highest owned player on the entire slate, and the highest owned guy I'm like not even interested in, so we'll talk about him in a minute, getting to that game. In the next game, actually. So Nikola Vucevic, $8,600. He has a usage rate 26.8, an assist rate 21.1, and a rebound rate of 18.1. I mean, it's just awesome. $8,600 is way too cheap. It almost feels like another misprice. Obviously not as bad as Kevin Huerter's, but I mean, he just still feels way too cheap. I don't understand that price tag. $8,600. I want to get all of that. Aaron Gordon, $7,400. Ever since the Magic have lifted his minutes limit, he's been playing a ton of minutes. I gave him 33 today. We could see him get to 36. I wouldn't be that surprised. But he's got a nice usage at 23.9, a nice assist rate, 19.9, and a 12.9 rebound rate. He does a lot. He shoots the ball a lot, which is really good for us. So Aaron Gordon's definitely going to be someone that I do want to have some exposure to. Cole Anthony at $5,300 is going to be someone I like as well. I gave him 29 minutes today. Although I will say those minutes and the usage might come down a little bit because Evan Fournier is back. We don't really know how many minutes they're going to play. If Fournier is playing a ton of minutes, I think that takes away from Cole Anthony. So I think Cole Anthony, ever since Evan Fournier has been ruled in, maybe more of someone to get off of, but still don't hate it. Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, Jared Vanderbilt, those are the guys I'm interested in on the Minnesota Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards is $4,500, And I talked about this in the injuries. So Ricky Rubio being out, Edwards played 30 minutes. Like they need someone to handle the ball and get shot and just have usage in the on the bench. And that was Anthony Edwards. Like, look, this guy's the first number 1 overall pick. He has talent. I've seen it in college. I saw that talent. I know that explosion game's coming. Not saying it's going to be tonight, but wouldn't be that surprised if he's going to play a lot of minutes. He has a usage rate 25.8. He sucked last game when he had a ton of minutes, but he shot like 2 for 20. So just assuming positive regression is going to happen, he's going to get some more shots to go in, then I think he's going to be a solid play. So Anthony Edwards is definitely someone I'd like to get to. Nas Reed's $4,800. I gave him 28 minutes, but this one's only in play if he starts. Even if he does start, I don't even know how much I really love Nas Reed. Like, he's fine, but I don't think he's like some lock play. Same thing with Jared Vanderbilt. Like, Vanderbilt's getting a lot of ownership right now. He's one of the higher owned players on the entire slate, but like he's $4,900, and look at this. I mean, yeah, he's going to play in the higher 20s minutes as a starter, but he's got a usage rate of 13.4 and an assist rate of 13.2. I don't know if that's worth being one of the highest owned players on the slate. I'd rather pivot to other cheaper options. Like, I'd rather just pivot to Anthony Edwards, to be honest. There's other guys I'd rather get to that are around that same price tag than Jared Vanderbilt. Now we're going to go to the Phoenix Suns and the Houston Rockets. This game has an implied total of 218.5, which is, honestly, this is shocking, but it's the lowest total game on the slate. Like, if you told me that like 2 years ago, the Rockets and the Suns were going to be the lowest total game on the slate, I would have said you're crazy. I mean, these were 2 of the fastest paced teams in the league, but they are not playing fast this year. Neither team. Monty Williams has really slowed down the Suns, and Russell Westbrook obviously slows down the Rockets, but then Harden as well. So both those guys being gone, it's not going to be as fast paced of a team. New coach as well. No Mike D'Antoni anymore. But the first thing I want to talk about the Suns is Cameron Johnson is right now projected the highest owned player on the slate. And I get it. He's $3,900 and he's going to start. But, like, he's going to play, 23 minutes? I gave him 23 minutes today, but he could get to, 28, 29. He's not going to play in the upper 30s of minutes. He doesn't do that. He's never done that in his career. Like, rarely in his career have we seen him play those minutes. And it's not like he's not a high usage player. He's not a high point per minute guy. And there's other guys within, $600, $700 that are pretty similar plays that are going to be, 2% owned. So I'd rather get to those guys than someone like Cam Johnson. If you want to play him, that's fine. If you don't want to, get away from the chalk, that's fine. I mean, if you're playing cash, yeah, you got to play him because he's just super popular. But, I just don't hate that at all. I think he's a fine play. Or I do hate that. I don't think he's someone I want to get to at all. I think that I just don't think he's worth 45% owned today on a slate. So that's just my opinion on that. However, DeAndre Ayton, love him today. He's $7,000. I gave him 35 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 19.2 and a rebound rate of 21.3. And who's going to guard him here? Christian Wood, Christian Wood's really good. Like, don't get me wrong, I've really liked Christian Wood. He's been someone who's produced really well this year. But he's an undersized center. Like, DeAndre Ayton's 7'1", and Christian Wood's 6'10". So there's a big size difference, and especially in weight too. Like, DeAndre Ayton's kind of huge, and Wood really isn't. And then who's the other guy you're going to get? DeMarcus Cousins? DeMarcus Cousins sucks now. DeMarcus Cousins can't play defense at all anymore. He's just out there. I mean, they're just kind of letting him play basketball at this point off the bench. So those are going to be your 2 guys who are going to be guarding DeAndre Ayton. Give me that all day. I love that. And then Chris Paul's too cheap also. At $7,200, I gave him 31 minutes. He's got a usage rate of 20.6, but this ridiculous assist rate of 40.4 is what I really like. He's just, again, I just think he's too cheap. So I don't hate Chris Paul at all. And on the Rockets side, the 2 guys I'm going to be interested in are Eric Gordon and Victor Oladipo. Christian Wood for me, I know a lot of people are probably saying, where's Christian Wood? He's getting up to a too expensive range for me where I just don't really want to, I don't trust the minutes are going to be 36 minutes a game where I don't really want to pay for that. So that's my opinion on that. But Eric Gordon's $5,500. I gave him 34 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 23.1, an assist rate of 11.2, and a rebound rate of 4.3. But he gets a usage bump to about 27% without Harden and Wall on the floor this year. Obviously, Oladipo's probably going to limit that, but I also don't think Oladipo is going to have a 42.7 usage rate again. Yeah, you heard that right. 42.7 usage rate and a 67.3 assist rate for Victor Oladipo in the last game. I mean, his debut, man, he popped off. I don't really know how much I want to play that again, but, I mean, I don't think that those. I mean, he's still going to have high rates. He's probably going to be the highest usage rate player on his team, however long he lasts. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded at trade deadline again. But he's going to have usage, but 42.7% isn't going to last. But still, at $7,800, I don't hate it. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's still going to be high usage. I think he's a fine play. He's definitely someone I do want to attack. I will get some exposure to him. Next game is going to be the San Antonio Spurs versus the Golden State Warriors. This game has an implied total of 228. It's one of the highest total games on slate. Actually, the second highest total game on the slate. West Coast games always end up being the higher total games, and they are the last two games we're going to talk about. I have a lot of interest on Golden State, but on the Spurs, I'm really only interested in DeJounte Murray and Lonnie Walker. DeJounte Murray, $7,400. I gave him 34 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 22.4, an assist rate of 25.5, and a rebound rate of 11.5. At $7,400, that grades out pretty well. It's definitely going to be something that I'd like to get to. He's just a really fast-paced player. I really like DeJounte Murray. He's just a good, decent point guard who has a lot of upside, especially in DFS. 7,400 isn't cheap, but I still don't hate going there. Nobody's playing DeJounte Murray at all today, so I don't hate playing that at all. Then you got Lonnie Walker. He's $5,100. I gave him 27 minutes today. Usage rate 19.8. He's just a little bit too cheap, but not really for the most part. I think he's got some upside, so I always like to get some Lonnie Walker when not a lot of people are going to be on him, and he's not too expensive, because every once in a while he has these blow up games and Draftkings spikes up his price, and then he comes back down to earth, and it's just kind of it kind of happens over and over again. So I'm trying to get back on that before it goes away. So Lonnie Walker is going to be someone I'm interested in. Kelly Oubre, Draymond Green, Steph Curry. Those are the three guys I'm interested in on Golden State. So Oubre is only going to be someone I'm interested in if Wiggins doesn't play. If Wiggins does play, I'm not really too interested in Kelly Oubre. I mean, look, this guy, man, he has been bad. Kelly Oubre can't hit anything, man. I mean, it's got to turn around at some point, because, I've watched Kelly Oubre for a few years now, and he's a good three-point shooter, but he's been bad to start this year. And maybe he turns it around tonight and has a blow-up game against Spurs. I don't hate it. He's $5,500. He's going to play 30 minutes. Usage rate still has 22.4, which is not bad. So I don't hate it at all. Draymond Green is going to be a guy that probably everyone's going to get off of today, I'd assume, because, he's, killed people's lineups the past few days. If he's going to end up being popular, then I'm gonna probably get away from Draymond again. But he's $5,400. He's going to play 30 minutes, and he's got an assist rate of 32.5. Eventually, he's going to have to turn it around and get some fantasy points for us, you'd think. But if he's going to be popular, I'm not going to get on him. If no one's playing him, I'll play Draymond tonight. That's pretty much my thoughts on that. Steph Curry is $9,700, and he's Steph freaking Curry. He's still a little bit too cheap. He's got a usage rate of 32.5 and an assist rate of 32.1. He's going to play 36 minutes in a fast-paced game. Yeah, I like Steph Curry tonight. That looks like a really, really, really good play. And then the last game of the night is going to be the Clippers and the Sacramento Kings. Before I do that, let me make sure we don't got any more news. Kemba Walker will remain unlimited to around 20 minutes tonight. Kyrie Irving is starting. Robert Williams limited to 10 to 15 minutes. Cam Reddish now doubtful. Okay. Ooh, DeAndre Hunter is now listed doubtful. Wow, he was probable all day. Okay, so DeAndre Hunter being out, I guess that's something we need to address then. So DeAndre Hunter, that is going to, wow, Kevin Huerter is $9,500, and he's going to have a ton of usage tonight. That's kind of crazy. Maybe DraftKings was onto something. Wouldn't it be something if Kevin Huerter just goes for 50 real-life points tonight and has a 70-point DraftKings game? It would just be crazy. And nobody will play him. I'm still not going to play Kevin Huerter. He's still too expensive. But I expect more usage for Trae Young. To be honest, let's just go look it up right now. Here, we're going to go. I got you guys. We're going to figure this out right now, what the usage is for the Atlanta Hawks without DeAndre Hunter on the floor. It's not going to be that much because he's not that high of a usage player in the first place. But anyway, let's just... I'd assume that we're going to see some more usage for John Collins, some more usage for Trae Young. I think Solomon Hill's probably going to be the starter. That's kind of what I'm waiting on now, is who's the starting lineup for the Atlanta Hawks tonight. Because I think it's probably going to be Trae Young, Collins, Capella, because there's no Bogdanovich. I think it has to be Solomon Hill. I think he's got to start, and Solomon Hill's super cheap. That's going to be someone I'm interested in, for sure. So, no DeAndre Hunter on the floor. Well, Daniil got... So, yeah, John Collins is getting a really big bump in usage without DeAndre Hunter on the floor. So, that's going to be someone I definitely like a lot now, is John Collins. I really like John Collins now. So John Collins is going to be someone who's going to get a lot of usage bump from him. I think that's probably your guy to go to now. I still think this probably helps out Trae Young a little bit. This probably helps out Solomon Hill's probably going to start now. It helps out her, but I still don't want to play him. He's too expensive. But yeah, Solomon Hill is probably going to get started. He's very, very cheap. Actually, let's go look at how cheap Solomon Hill is real quick. Lobby. Do not have this pulled up right now. Hold on. We are getting there. next time I do a live stream, I'm just going to have Draftkings pulled up on this laptop at all times. It's probably a smart idea. First time, guys. We're getting there. We are getting there. Solomon Hill is $3,100. Power forward eligible only, $3,100. He's probably going to start. I would still look out for the starting lineup for the UNO Hawks. I'm not 100% sure that he's going to start. That's just kind of who I think is going to start with no Cam Reddish and no DeAndre Hunter. It could be Tony Snell. Is he even active tonight? I don't think Tony Snell. I mean, he sucks, man. Tony Snell, yeah, he's active. It could be Tony Snell. Tony Snell could be the one getting to start. I'm not going to be interested in Tony Snell at all. Solomon Hill at least has some upside when he plays. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for that. I'm surprised that DeAndre Hunter's not playing. That threw me in for a curveball. I'm going to have to fix some minutes projections after this and some usage projections, but that's going to be interesting to see who starts for them. Anyway, let's talk about the Clippers and the Kings. This is the highest total game on the slate at 230. The LA Clippers Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and Serge Ibaka are going to be the three guys I'm interested in on the LA Clippers. Paul George is $9,100. I gave him 38 minutes today. He's got a usage rate of 28.1, an assist rate of 23.5, and a rebound rate of 10.4. At $9,100, he does look like just a pretty solid option here. Like him and Kawhi both, they look like good options. They don't look like great options, but they are going to be in the highest scoring games, so that's going to be pretty nice. Serge Ibaka at 5,900 has some upside here, especially going against the Kings. Rashawn Holmes is a good center, but he's undersized, and Serge Ibaka is not, and he should be able to handle his own down there in the paint against him. And I gave him 26 minutes, but he does have like 35-minute upside. We've seen him get there some nights, so I don't hate that at all. And the only two guys I'm interested in on the Kings are going to be Rashawn Holmes and Harrison Barnes. Rashawn Holmes is $6,400, and he's going to play a ton of minutes. Same thing with Harrison Barnes. I mean, they don't really stand out a ton, but they do look pretty interesting. All right. Well, that's really all I got on those plays. But if you want to ask any questions before I head out, I will answer them for you right now. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure we just probably gonna head out in a minute. But if any of you guys that are in here, you 3 people who are in here, want to ask a question about tonight, go for it. Ask me something. I'm going to keep looking at news real quick. I can't believe DeAndre Hunter got ruled out. That shocked me. I mean, list is probable. I was like, oh, there's no way he's going to miss out. He's going to be a good play tonight. Nope. He's gone. Great. I got an email from TikTok. Fantastic. All right, well, I think that's really all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for checking this out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Make some money tonight. If you have any questions, you can follow me on Twitter. I put the link down below. You can always subscribe to my Patreon. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you aren't a subscriber already. Thank you guys so much for being here. And I actually enjoy doing this. So as long as I'm not like busy, I'm a college student. I do have to do some things. As long as I'm not busy, I think I might just start doing live streams every night. So I'm gonna come out with back to regular videos tomorrow because I won't have any more stupid technical difficulties, hopefully. So college basketball video and NBA video. Oh, there's a question. Who is the best value at 3K? I think it's going to be Solomon Hill at this point. I think it's going to be Solomon Hill because I think he's going to start. I'm not 100% on that, but honestly, the 3K value is really not good. I mean, Cam Johnson's probably the one I go to at this point because there's just we're waiting on a lot of news to come out. So here I'll go back over to the injury sheet. If any of these guys get ruled out that are questionable, like Sexton and Garland being questionable, I mean, all those guys are already priced up. But like Jakar Sampson, he could start today for Indiana, and I wouldn't be that surprised. He could be a good value, assuming like whoever starts in Atlanta in Hunter's place. Now, if it's Tony Snell's like one of the lowest usage players in the entire league. I don't like getting there at all, but if he isn't gonna like if it's not gonna be Tony Snell, it's gonna be Solomon Hill. I don't hate that. Sometimes the Heat recently been starting KZ Okpala, but he doesn't play a lot of minutes, so I wouldn't go there. It's just the 3K value tonight is not good. It was good with Xavier Tillman earlier, but that's a race now. So we'll see if anything pops up. Hopefully it does. Still no more news. I mean, it's still an hour and 15 minutes from lock. But I think it's going to be Solomon Hill. I think he's going to start. I don't really see, look, we got Trae Young is going to start. Herter's going to start. Capella and Collins are going to start. Then you got Hunter's out. Reddish is out. Gallinari's out. Bogdanovich is out. Chris Dunn's out. Brandon Goodwin's a point guard. Solomon Hill. Rondo, I mean, they could start Rondo and him together, but I doubt it. Tony Snell sucks, and if he's starting, I'm not playing Tony Snell. I don't think Skylar Mays is going to start. I mean, he barely plays at all. Nathan Knight isn't. Fernando and Okongwu are centers, and they're not going to play those two if Collins. So I think it's going to be Solomon Hill. That's probably my best value play at 3K. Tim Hardaway Jr. available to play. Yeah, we figured that one. He was probable all day. Yeah, there's someone who's actually probable who actually plays. Alright, guys, I think that's it. Hit me up on Twitter if you have any more questions. I'll answer them for you for sure, because I'm just going to be sitting here making lineups for the next hour and 15 minutes. I'm probably redoing them every time some stupid news comes out. So, thank you guys for watching this. I'll be back tomorrow for sure. I'm going to be making a normal NBA video tomorrow and a normal college basketball video tomorrow for sure. And I will more than likely be doing the stream. No promises, because who knows what might come up. But yeah, thanks for watching this, and hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Make some money tonight. That's always the goal. Yeah, bye.